Welcome to No Rules Review with your host, Ethan Millay.
Gems. Pulling them out of the ground, making them look pretty, selling them. That's what you do in Splendor, which is a 2 to 4 player card and poker chip game. It's a set collection game. In Splendor, you are going to be using chips, which are gems, to buy cards, which will then allow you to buy more cards at a discount with extra poker chips to then eventually hopefully get cards that are worth points. And then if you get 15 points, you'll end the game, and whoever has the most points at that point wins the game. I know, right? So, Splendor. It's a very small, very light, very quick game, but it's a lot of fun. Um, it doesn't seem like so much of what's going on there would make it a fun game, but it is because you're racing everybody else. When you take a card from the field, you flip over a new card, and suddenly that card is available to everyone. And so sometimes you'll take a card either to reserve it or you buy it, being like, whatever, and then an amazing card pops up. So you're racing everybody else in this sort of efficiency engine kind of game where, you're fighting over the same collective resources and you're trying to do it better than anybody else. Uh, there are a few strategies. You can go for, I want to have a lot of the basic cards and sort of just build up this massive engine that lets me buy cards for super cheap. You can also go after the, I'm only going to buy the cards that are worth a lot of points, but it means I got to take turns saving up chips. You can do a mix of both, and they all sort of work, and that's great because it makes Splendor very accessible. You can sit down with people who've never played games. It's pretty easy to explain. The most complicated thing or convoluted thing is how many chips you can take. And then you can just be off and running, and everybody understands what's going on. Now, I mentioned it, so I guess I'll go into it. That is the part I've always found when I teach this game that people find confusing. You can take 3 chips on your turn. They have to be different colors. Or you can take 2 chips of the same color if there are 4 or more of those chips remaining. If there are less than 4, then you cannot take 2 of that color. You cannot take the gold chip unless you reserve a card on your turn, which means taking a card from the field into your hand, but then the gold chip is all you get. Golds count as wild. I mean, it's not that complicated for people who are used to gaming, but if you are new to gaming, it can be a little confusing, and sometimes people will bank their entire strategy off of pulling 2 chips at a time when they can't pull 2 chips anymore. Second sort of stink for players, but other than that, Splendor's just very light, it's very fun. It's not the most thematic of games, though it can help to teach it sort of thematically if you remind people that as you buy, say, red gems, each red gem you bought gives you a discount on future red gems because you are opening up a red gem mine and shipping those things. I don't know. Whatever the card color gives you a discount on future purchases that would need that card color. So it's very nice. Like I said, it's a racing game. I like racing games. I mean, this is not a traditional racing as in lapping and going across the finish line, but it's an efficiency race. You are trying to make sure you buy the bare minimum necessary cards to get you to that point total that you need, which is usually, like I said, 15, though you will complete a round. So if you're a first player and people are close, you might want to try to shoot for higher than 15. This game has the advantage of not only being pretty cheap to buy in physical form, you can also get an app version of this that plays pretty well and gives you some single-player challenges that can be fun, if a little infuriating, because they really demand that you be as efficient as possible. There's not much more I can say about Splendor. I think it's a great game. It won the Spiel des Jahres, the German Game of the Year award, which, did it win or did it lose out? Ooh, I don't remember now. I'm sure if somebody's feeling especially pedantic, they'll point that out in the comments, but either way, it's a good game. Lots and lots of people play it. Yes, there's a lot of derision directed towards it, but I don't get it because it's not pretending it's anything that it's not. It's an honest, small, little fun game that asks that you just try to be more efficient than the other players. It's not asking for you to be a grand strategist. It's not asking for you to be manipulative. It's just asking for you to try to do what everybody else is doing and do it better. It plays in, 20 minutes. So if that appeals to you, I strongly suggest going out and giving Splendor a try, or just buying it. It's cheap enough. I know the initial printing had some issues dealing with, or for the colorblind, because there was really nothing to mark the circles on the cards, the red and the green, especially for those who are red-green colorblind. I have a friend who was an issue. In later versions, they put the gem symbols on them to help differentiate them. So if there's any issue of color blindness, try to make sure you don't get the first printing. But other than that, I recommend it. I think Splendor's a great game. I think it's maybe not for everyone's collection, but everybody should play it. I think it's a fun game. I got nothing else to say. It's a light game. This will be a light review. This has been Ethan Malay with No Rules Review. If you like what you saw today, share, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
This has been another No Rules Review by Ethan Malay. If you enjoyed this video, consider sharing, commenting, liking, and most importantly, subscribing. For this and other great games, join us over on BoardGameGeek.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.